Welcome back to the vlog. Today I'm boarding NCL's Norwegian Gem in Jacksonville for an 8-night poker cruise to the Bahamas. My cruise escapade started back in 2024 when I played a poker tournament on a family cruise and ended up winning it. That win earned me a seat in NCL's annual Casinos at Sea poker cruise, including entry to their $1,100 main event. Now, before anyone calls me out, the cruise wasn't completely free. I spent $200 on the satellite buy-in and add-on, plus another $400 in taxes and fees. So while I won the cruise, I'm still in it for about $600. That means we have a challenge for this trip: make $600 playing poker and pay for the vacation while on vacation. There will be tournaments running all week along with 2-5 cash games, although the cash game rate is pretty steep, so this vlog will be more tournament focused than usual. Okay, anchors up, let's get into the action. In the first hand, we are playing 5-10 and have ace-jack of clubs in the big blind. F and Bob, who is a Lodge live stream regular, opens to 40. The button flats, and we go three ways to a flop and flop the world on ace queen 3 with my flush draw. I check it to F and Bob. He c-bets, the button folds, and with a hand this strong, can't really go wrong. However, we are short, so I don't think there's anything wrong with calling here. We should be able to get stacks in, which is exactly what happens. F and Bob jams the turn. I make the call. River the nuts. He tells me we're good, and so I show and scoop this 1K pot. Here I'm in the small blind with queens. I face an open from early position of flat, and the button is a short stack. He jams 12 bigs. I ISO, and I get a double flat from F and Bob here, or I guess this is like a triple flat. Uh, I flop clean on 9-3 deuce, and after F and Bob flats once and then again versus the cold four, I'm expecting him to have a pocket pair a lot of the time here. He could have a hand like ace jack, but I don't really want him to get away. So I put in the money. He calls. The run out is clean, but I am shown a rivered set by the button. So I scoop the side pot here. In the final notable 5-10 hand, early position limps. I check my option with ace 10 off in the big blind. No reason to get crazy here, I think, with a middling hand. And I flop trips. It goes check, check. On the turn, I definitely need to start putting money in, so I bet 20. He calls. I continue barreling the river and face a raise here. Now, normally river raises are pretty strong, so I am concerned, but there's definitely no folding. So I make the call and I win versus Jack 10, which is pretty nice that opponents are finding these kinds of bluffs and we're getting action. So I'm very happy with the first day of poker here on the cruise. So I end day one with a profit of $1,500. All right, day one down. Table was pretty good. A lot of fun, a lot of drinking, really funny people. It's nice running hot. I have to be up at before 9 a.m. I have to be there at 9 a.m. for the tournament. So called it at 12:30 here. Bedtime. I do have to say I was pretty impressed by the action last night. There was no 1-3 being run. 2-5 was the smallest game, which means everyone just plays 2-5. And there were like maybe 12 games of 2-5 and 2 tables of 5-10 running at one point. So, there's money on this boat. That's good. All right, let's get into some tournament hands here. We're on level 3 of the 1100. I face a limp from the hijack, ISO king queen off, and go heads up with the button, who cold calls my raise. I flop really nice on Jack 10-4 here with 2 overs and open ender. I c-bet, my opponent calls, and I turn gin with an offsuit ace. There are probably a few reasonable options here, but my opponent looks like he's itching to put chips in the pot. So I check it over to him. He bets a little bit over pot, and I don't think he'll be folding here. I shove it, and get called by pocket jacks, which is a really sick cooler, nice hold on the river, brutal for my opponent, but I get the nice double up. I want to show you guys this one not because it's important, but because I think it's hilarious. I'm facing two limps in middle position with ace four suited. I ISO. I get a cold call from the button, and this is literally his first time playing poker. He's struggling with the rules and everything. He calls, one of the limper calls, and I flop air. My role in this hand is done here. But look what happens. The out of position player donks pot. I fold. The button jams. He gets snap called, and the button has absolutely nothing with the out of position player having a straight draw, and he just bricks out. The in position player wins. He goes on a crazy run for the next 1 or 2 hours. It eventually falls apart, but really awesome. Just shows you how good these games are. The next level, I have tens in the cutoff. The hijack limps, I ISO, and this time we go heads up to a flop of Jack 8 3 two tone. My opponent checks, I C bet, and I get min raised. I'm not thrilled about this, but I'm not entirely sure what to make of it. There's definitely no folding the flop, so I call, and the turn is pretty interesting. It's an offsuit queen. My opponent checks, and here I consider bluffing. It might take two streets to get my opponent to fold a jack. I do block 10-9. I pick up a gut shot, but truthfully, I don't expect him to have much here. So I decide to just check it back, try to get to showdown. And once again on the ace, this might be a really good card to bluff out a jack. He's probably not going to fold a queen, but I think I'm probably good. So I check it back, and my opponent shows us pocket fours. I guess he wanted to see where he was at on the flop, but nice to pick up a 35 big blind pot here. A couple levels later, I have ace king suited in the cutoff. I am facing three limps, which, by the way, lets you know how good these games are. There's three limps. I ISO. The low jack back raises, so I get it in with him, and we are up against pocket queens. It's a classic flip, which I win. Very nice. I'm starting to feel the momentum pick up here. A bit later, we're at 1K 1500, and I have ace queen off in early position. I raise, the cutoff ships 30 bigs. Pretty big jam, but he's an action player, so I will not be folding. I flick it in, and I am up against pocket fours. So it is a race, and man, can you believe? So sad. So sad. That brings us back down to 45 bigs. 1K, 2K, I have ace king off in the small blind. The button opens. I jam for 22 big blinds effective and get snap called by king jack offsuit. I'm a little surprised to see this hand. I have him dominated, so I feel good. We get a scary flop, but I hold. And suddenly I'm back to a nice, healthy stack. Final level of the day, I have eights in early position. I raise it up, the button flats, and we go heads up to a flop of 9-8 deuce. Rainbow. So pretty. I'm hitting everything today. It's a good board for my opponent, so I check, hoping he'll put some money in, but he checks back. The turn is a jack. I need to start getting stacks in here, so I bet five big blinds and love to see a jam. I make the call, and my opponent is dead with ace jack. So, very nice way to end day one of this tournament. Play some 2-5 to finish off the night here. I have aces in the big blind. The button calls. Our friend George ISOs to 30 in the small blind. I 3-bet, and he makes the call. The flop is 10-9-7 two tone, which is a pretty good board for George, I would say, but definitely still going to put some money in here. He makes the call, and my concerns of any two pairs or sets on the flop are alleviated by a clean ace on the turn. He checks, and here I have an interesting decision between going small or going large. I thought one of the interesting merits to going small was the fact that I have the ace of diamonds in my hand, which means he can't have the ace of of diamonds, which is definitely going to call a large bet on the turn. So, thinking he probably has a pair plus straight draw type hand, I just decide for the small bet and George makes the call. The river is an offsuit 8. I don't love it, and even worse, George leads for pot. This is a very tough spot. George just bought me a drink, and I'm feeling kind of buzzed. I don't feel like folding. It's hard to come up with a bluff. Maybe a hand like 5-4 of diamonds or king 10, king 9, something like that, which has decided to turn itself into a bluff. I don't know. I flick it in, and George shows me ace jack for the rivered straight. I think in hindsight, I probably could have let this go, but I won't lose any sleep over calling with top set. Despite losing that hand, I turned a small profit at 2-5 and bagged a healthy stack for day 2. All right, day 1's over. I bagged almost 60 bigs. Great result. I didn't have to rebuy. The field, the field is so soft. Got some pretty nice gifts, like with the king jack, and those add up. Yeah, I've been playing for a while now, so I'm gonna go take a break. But I've learned one of the secrets to cruises is to bring your own shampoo. It's a lot more cost effective. Good time.
All right, I'm in Nassau. I don't really know what there is to do here. This is kind of why I need someone who's a better planner when I travel. But just kind of going with the flow, walking around, trying to find a beach. Cheers. Okay, so I discovered the pirate museum here. I love pirates. I wanted to be a pirate so bad as a kid. I was obsessed with it, learned all the flags and stuff, so I'm very excited about this.
I only played one notable hand today. I'm in the big blind with 9-5, the old Dolly Parton. There's a couple limps. I check my option and flop a flush draw. The flop checks through, and I turn the flush. Small blind leads. I raise. He jams 210, and I pick this one up, coolering a set, which after 4 hours of 2-5 puts me up just under 2K on the trip. All right, we were just told that we're not stopping at Grand Stirrup, which is the private island owned by the boat, because the ocean is being too oceany, which means the casino is going to remain open and all the gamblers rejoice. So let's go play some cards. I immediately lose jacks versus queens for $300. Then I noticed PLO looked to be popping. It's not normally my game, but I took a shot. This is a PLO hand. I normally won't show you guys PLO because I'm not a PLO player, but the game looks so juicy, I just had to jump in there today. So the low jack limps, the cutoff limps, we go 5 ways, and I flop the straight on 8-5-4. The cutoff pots it, and he is a big action player. So I decided to re-raise here. You have to be pretty careful with straights and PLO. They're very vulnerable hands. So maybe this is not the best idea. I thought having the backdoor diamonds was a good little bit of insurance, but what happens is the turn is a 6. I check, no longer having the nut straight, my opponent bets half pot and I call. The river's a brick, I check, and he pots, and this is just an awful spot. Now I really wish I didn't bloat the pot on the flop. I don't know. I flick it in and I get shown 9-7. So really unfortunate. I don't think I played this hand the best, but maybe a PLO player will let me know in the comments. It is unfortunate for sure that my opponent just called me on the flop with a gut shot and pinked it. Looking at today's results, I lost in Hold'em, I lost in PLO. There was a $230 turbo, which I quickly dusted off $700 in. And to add insult to injury, I lost $5 betting a fellow passenger on which elevator would arrive first. We've hit some choppy seas, but I'm doing my best to right the ship. Day 5, we visited Freeport, which I will not sugarcoat was an industrial shipping yard 30 minutes from anywhere nice. I got right back on the boat. 500 freeze out here. I have jacks in early position. I open on a 30 big blind stack and go heads up with the big blind. I flop top set. He donks small and blocking all the hands that want to call a raise here. I just make the call on the turn. It's a brick and he bets this kind of weird smallish size here. It seems like he doesn't really know how to value his hand. I am no longer going to give him a cheap river. I raise it up and he calls. The turn is a brick, and with half pot left behind, he donk jams, which is slightly concerning, but I am, of course, not folding a set here. So I call, and he shows us ace nine with the nut flush draw slash blocker. A little unclear why he's turning this hand into a bluff here on the river. I'm not sure if he knows that he's bluffing or he's just putting chips in the middle. But either way, I get a nice double. It was card dead for the next couple hours, so I blind back down to 25 bigs. I open jacks in the cutoff. The big blind is text Tommy. He rips 14 bigs. I make the call, and we are up against ace deuce offsuit. And I immediately get out flopped, and that really cripples my stack. Blind down to 2 big blinds. I have queen 9 off in the small blind. I have Lonnie Hui, formerly Lonnie Harwood, who is a famous tournament player. Shout out to Lonnie. She calls my jam. I am up against ace 6, and I bink for my tournament life. The next orbit, I have king 9 off in the big blind. We are on the stone bubble. The button puts me all in. I have to call off. And luckily, I am up against the same hand. So we just chop it up. And in the next orbit, the bubble bursts and I slide into the money. After the bubble bursts, I got one double up. Here, the hijack opens. I get in my stack and I am up against ace 8, which coolers me. And that is the end of my freeze out run. Not the most exciting result here, but it is really nice to slide into a min cash after being on the brink of death. The min cash and a small L on PLO put us back in the black. Key West was so much fun. I saw the buoy, ate some key lime pie, and visited Ernest Hemingway's home, which is now home to dozens of six-toed cats. My father was killed by a six-toed cat. Was it you? On the Gem, I met a fellow poker player named Max, who is also a talented singer, and he brought his busking equipment. I happened to have a guitar with me, which I just bought while in Florida, so we had a fun impromptu jam.
Falling in love with you.
Max and I later found out we went to the same college, U Chicago, which made this chance meeting even cooler. You can follow him at Max Croons on TikTok.
All right, I'm getting ready to fire the 2500. It's the biggest tournament I've ever played. Seems like a good time to take a shot. I mean, if you're gonna play at 2500, let's do it on the boat. The high roller does not start off very well. There's a limp, an ISO, a cold call. I make a move with king 10 suited in the big blind and get punished by a back raise. I fold and lose about a third of my chips very early on. I soon find myself on 25 bigs with ace 10 suited. I ISO a limp, go 3 ways to a flop where I flop top pair. The big blind donks into me. I call. The turn is a brick.
He donks for less than a quarter pot here. I again call. And the river, he bets about a quarter. It's always concerning seeing a triple barrel from a recreational, but there is no folding here, I don't think. So I call off 7 of my 14 bigs and lose to 2 pair. Maybe I can fold the river, but it seems a little bit ridiculous. On 7 bigs, there's nothing left to do but jam my ace king. I get called by the early position limper here, who shows us ace deuce. We're in good shape until the river. Brutal way to bust out, but nothing to do but rebuy. I rebuy, so now I'm in this tournament for 5K. By chance, I'm placed at the same table I just left. The first hand, I get dealt ace king. I go 4 ways to a flop here where I flop top, pretty good. I range check out of position on 3 players, and the button bets large. I shove the button, tank calls, and shows, ugh, 2 pair. This is one of those days where poker is just the best game ever. Oh my god, look at that. I get the immediate double, and all of a sudden I feel so much better. 1K, 2K, I'm back to 30 bigs. I have ace king suited on the button. I 3-bet the cutoff, and we go heads up to an ace high flop. He checks, I c-bet, he calls, I barrel the turn, he jams, I call, and I have ace 10 in very bad shape. 1.53K, there's a 10 big blind jam. I get it in from the small blind with ace jack suited and am in bad shape against ace king. I have a gut shot and drill the river. 2K, 4K, I have ace king off on the button. I call off the low jacks 13 big blind jam and have him in bad shape, but he flops it. No help for me. 2K, 4K, I have ace 7 in the big blind. The button jams 9 big blinds. I make the call, and he is getting frisky for sure with jack 9 offsuit. There is a jack in the window, followed by 2 sevens. Oh my god. I can't. You've got to be kidding me, man. You've got to be kidding me. On 20 bigs here. By the way, Joe Cat is at the table, which is pretty cool. He's the second main event winner that I've played with after Jamie Gold. There's a 10 big blind jam from the same guy from last hand. I put it in and am up against king 7, which outflops me. There's 18 people left, 14 make the money. I have 10-8 suited in early position. Put in my last 2 big blinds after blinding down. I've been card dead, and I am up against jacks. I find no help, and that ends my high roller run. Unfortunate. There's 5K down the drain. Welcome to the tournament life. Tournaments, man, they're rough. I have a little bit of hope. Tomorrow, we have the second day of the main. At the end of day 6, I'm 5K in the hole, but tomorrow is day 2 of the main event. I have a good stack, and with 140K up top, anything can happen. It's day 2 of the main event. I feel good. You know, I've been playing well. I have a healthy stack. There's hope. Day 2 of the main event, I have king queen suited. There's an early position jam. I win versus 10-9 suited, and also get ace 8 in versus a short stack who has ace king, and I win that one as well. 2 hours into day 2, the bubble bursts, and I'm in the money with 24 big blinds. In the money now, there is a middle position open from our friend George. I defend the big blind with 6-5 suited and flop the dream on 7-4 deuce, 2 diamonds. I check. He c-bets. I, of course, shove, hoping to realize all my equity here. He gives it a think and calls with ace 8 of diamonds, which is not the hand you want to see. My diamonds are dead, my 8 is dead, and my tournament life is dead. Playing some cash here. It's a hand of 2-5-10. I open 10-9 suited from the small blind, and George 3 bets from the straddle. I defend and flop trips on 9-9-5. It's beautiful. I'm ready to get my revenge on George here. I check, he c bets, and there's some argument for raising, but I think it's kind of nice to protect my range, and I expect him to continue to barrel any overpairs on the turn. So I make the call. I check. He barrels again. And again, if he has a hand like ace king or something, I want to allow him to continue to bluff. So I just make the call. And the river, I'm expecting to stack any overpair. I check. He checks back and shows us jacks. So really unfortunate. This is an astute check from him. I like this a lot because he's probably not going to be getting value from that much. He's hoping I have a hand like tens, but I'm probably not going to call him down with sevens or eights. So good play from him. He just keeps owning us. What can you do? At 2-5, I 4-bet jammed ace-king preflop and cracked queens in a straddled hand. So after day 7, I've made about 4K, which puts me back within striking distance of my $600 goal. Playing the satellite for next year's cruise, I have a few hands. Here, the low jack opens, the high jack flats. I jam for 10 bigs with ace 8, get a cold call from the small blind, and am up against king 5 suited. And I hold. No reason for the small blind to get involved here. So really nice to get called by worse. And the hijack flatter shows us ace king before mucking. So I got better to fold and worse to call. It's just, he said he didn't want to put it in with a drawing hand. So fair enough, dude. Fair enough, I guess. But not really. Now on 18 bigs, there is a limp, a min raise from the low jack. I jam with ace jack suited, and the low jack has ace king. Not great, but I think it again. So nice. And all of a sudden, I have a pretty healthy stack for a satellite format. On the stone bubble of the satellite, and I have aces. I thought this was funny because it's the first time in my life I've considered folding aces pre-flop. But with the blinds approaching, I did think securing one more orbit could be potentially a deal breaker. So I did shove and get it through, which secured me enough to last till the bubble bursts.
2,000 chips. Oh my God.
All right. That was at least a nice little bit of a comeback there. I will see you guys next year.
So for 240, I won entry to 2026's cruise and the $1,100 main event. And maybe, just maybe, I can still get even in cash. Ace, king, and aces. GG. See you guys next year. In the end, I fell quite short of my goal, but stay tuned to see if I can manage to daisy chain a win.
Know if we're gonna win or lose. We've got back from the ship with chips in our pocket, but we should have cashed it out when we back on the ship. So we're here singing some random songs, just jamming out while you sing along. Come on now, poker cruise. We're on a poker cruise. We're here and we got nothing to lose. We're on a poker cruise. We're on a poker cruise. Oh yeah, we're here and we got nothing to lose. We got back early this morning, but lots of our friends were up all night drinking, and now it's really hard to be awake this early. You're supposed to be playing playing the chords. You can't laugh.